The Legend of Zelda series is a great enigma, a massive mystery which timeline is still waiting for an ultimate explanation of how we went from this, and this to a Hyrule with absolutely everything. The timeline paradox in Breath of the Wild might be resolved in its sequel by perhaps Ganondorf, but I'm a little less sure on whether we will get a proper explanation to the mystery surrounding these 5 crucial details in the Zelda series. But as always, before we go into our 5 favorite mysteries, make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe, plus press that bell for all notifications if you haven't already. Also, to help me out, I brought Hyrule Gamer, so enjoy. The wars. One of the most overlooked and underused themes in the Zelda series are the many conflicts and full-scale wars leading up to some of the best games in the entire series. The shadow invasion of Hyrule Castle's throne room, told in retrospective by Princess Zelda, is the closest we have ever been to facing an invading army and witnessing a humiliating surrender at the hands of Hyrule's ruling monarch. And you know what? I wish we had more moments and cutscenes like Zan's majestic entrance and the fall of Hyrule in Breath of the Wild throughout the entire series, but unfortunately for the other conflicts, we're left with symbols instead. For the imprisoning war, we have a gorgeous artwork and a player's guide description. Skyward Sword's ancient battle had cave art style that fit the prehistoric nature of the battle very well. The War of the Bound Chest was a Game Boy Advance game, so it couldn't show more than it did. In most cases though, the wars of Hyrule are simple. Big evil rises and the forces of good face the invading monsters. No more explanation needed, except when it isn't. The first example is the Interloper War, which can be interpreted in a number of different ways. The same can be said about the Hyrulean Civil War and the Gerudo-Hylian War, which are big mysteries which we hope will be addressed further, perhaps in Breath of the Wild 2. We know nearly nothing about these 2 conflicts except that they took place, and one of them might have been started by the Zora or the Gorons, that Ganondorf took part in them, set Hyrule on fire, then lost to the Kingdom of Hyrule and was punished by said kingdom. Other than that, we don't know the true scope and length of the conflicts, the battles that brought Ganondorf's fall and subsequent rise to wield the Triforce of Power. It's a shame that these 2 massive conflicts which shaped Ganondorf have never been explored deeper and have remained massive mysteries over the year. This is a shame as these 2 lengthy conflicts deserve better. At least there's one more thing we know about the Hyrulean Civil War, and that is the reference to Link's mother.
Every human has or had a biological mother and father in their life, and it isn't any different for the Legend of Zelda series. For Princess Zelda, it's obvious that it is the king and queen, or crown prince and the crown princess. But for Link, with 1 or 2 exceptions, we have no clues. Luckily, one of them is the hero of time, though sadly for him, he never had the chance to love his mother, as she was ripped away from him as a result of the wounds of a war inflicted on her. A truly touching and tragic tale indeed, but take every other Link in the series, and they are all being taken care of by their grandmothers and uncles, if they have any family left at all at the beginning of the game. The Zelda team knows this, and even made concepts for Breath of the Wild to give Link, the hero of the wild, a family, but decided against it. Why? Possibly since Link is supposed to head out on his own adventure on his own, not being pushed to it by a father or his mother. In fact, in Zelda games it is quite the opposite, as every family member introduced in the series has set their goal of protecting the orphan who had lost everyone. Still, despite the tragic backdrop, the Links in the Zelda series have parents who had their own story, ambitions, relationships, and desire to have offspring. Perhaps Breath of the Wild 2 will finally break the convention of ignoring the existence of Link's parents, and use the concept art seen in creating a champion, but until that occurs, the parents of the Links will remain one of the Legend of Zelda series' greatest mysteries.
The Knights of Hyrule, mystery number 3. The elite military force in Hyrule during wartime, but expensive to maintain and potentially a threat to the Hylian crown after securing the peace. Hence, the Knights of Hyrule have remained a mysterious formation, which we never see at their prime in Zelda games, as they have always been cast aside and replaced by unskilled do-nothing soldiers and bodyguard royal guards in peacetime. In fact, after Skyward Sword's Knight Academy of Skyloft, little is seen or heard of the later Ironclad Knights. Unsurprisingly, the Knights of Hyrule are as mysterious as they are legendary. Their noble spirit and bravery are no doubt tied to Hylia's chosen hero, the hero of the sky, and the Triforce of Courage, ready to put their lives on the line for the safety of Hyrule, as clearly shown by Link's uncle and then the hero of legend himself in A Link to the Past, and through the hero Shade and the hero of Twilight and Twilight Princess. The Knights of Hyrule have, through their mythical status with the instantly recognizable Hylian shield containing the Triforce and the proud Crimson Loftwing, become a central theme throughout the entire Zelda series. Despite their importance throughout the games, we only know of their existence from living descendants such as Link, his uncle and Twilight Princess Ashe, and old crests, armor and weaponry found in Snow-Peak ruins and Hyrule Castle. It appears that the role of the Knights and the sole purpose they serve during war times make this formation a massive mystery until we get the Zelda game set during wartime. Until then, we can at least play with their weapons in Breath of the Wild, and we have the full right to do so, as Link in Breath of the Wild is a proper knight and a true hero at the same time. A total badass who even bested Monk Mouse Koshi's final trial, which brings us to...
If one tribe in Zelda can be described as enigmatic, then it is the Sheikah, or as they are better known, the Shadow Folk and Guardians of the Blood of the Goddess. In games usually pinned down to Impa or Impas, the Sheikah tribe has been on the verge of extinction time and time again, just to make an unexplained and massive comeback for Breath of the Wild. This is the beauty of the tribe. We have no idea how they resurged and rose to at one point being the most powerful tribe in Hyrule, with technology which greatly surpassed that of the Kingdom of Hyrule. Almost everything about this race is a giant mystery that has become subject of countless theories. A riddle wrapped in a mystery, inside an enigma. Yes, much like Sir Winston Churchill defying Russia, the Sheikah are the only tribe in the Zelda series who probably forever will remain a mystery, and for many reasons. As the Sheikah is the only race in the canon known to have split up not once, but twice, and as the only tribe in Hyrule did so based on political beliefs. First during the Interloper War, and then with the Yiga clan after the royal family's betrayal of the race. Interestingly enough, schisms which take place in the early stages and closing stages of the current Zelda timeline. Despite their shaky and chaotic backstory, the Sheikah, their schism and technology became the main plot point in Breath of the Wild. Still, when all is said, there is little that is canon about this loyal, mysterious and tragic society, which apparently can never catch a break in the Zelda series from extinction.
Many theories have been dedicated to the Sheikah over the years, including the most recent history, which we have detailed in the Sheikah and Yiga video, which you will find in the end card. Time travel is a common theme in Zelda. The same goes for parallel worlds and even entire universes. In this regard, Termina is no doubt the most prominent example of a parallel world in the series, as it is a literal replication of the people and races the hero of time met during his adventure, excluding Impa of the Sheikah tribe. Termina alone, with its dark themes, 5 stages of grief, countdown and the most terrifying villain in the series, is in itself a mystery. In fact, everything about this land screams mystery. The ruined Ikana Kingdom, the miserable inhabitants of Clocktown, and everything else are all mysteries that we are thrown into. To make matters even worse, we aren't even sure if Termina is even real or not, as Hyrule Encyclopedia took an already uncomfortable and bizarre parallel land and then wrote, quote, "The combination of the Skull Kid's burdened heart and the evil magic within Majora's Mask transformed the land into Termina." Excuse me? What land? So isn't Termina the parallel world, but rather a creation of a different parallel world? Then after Majora's defeat, does the world go back to normal? Apparently not, as the encyclopedia also states that Termina's inhabitants were constructed from the Skull Kid's memories and delusions of Hyrule. I can't even. Termina is no doubt a mystery too big and bizarre to be tackled as a single point in a video on big Zelda Mysteries. Luckily, if you're still in for some bizarre moments in Zelda, Hyrule Gamer got you covered in the end card. But before you head over, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to both of our channels, and press that shiny notification bell for all notifications to not miss any upcoming Zelda uploads. By the way, to celebrate a little late the 5th anniversary of the channel, and the upcoming 3rd anniversary of Nintendo Switch and Breath of the Wild on March 3rd, we will give away the revised Nintendo Switch with a copy of Breath of the Wild if we can get to 250,000 subscribers by March 3rd. Until the next video, this was Conrad Vanis of the Commonwealth Realm, and we will see you girls and guys soon.